Humiliation doesn't usually trend on Twitter, but when it does, you can bet Charlie Kirk is somewhere in the middle of it, red-faced and scrambling like a politician caught on a hot mic. The so-called conservative firebrand just got roasted so badly, the internet is calling it the Comedy Super Bowl, because 50 Cent, Katt Williams, and Dave Chappelle didn't just react. They obliterated him. Imagine walking into a room thinking you're the smartest guy there, only to get ethered by a rapper who survived 9 bullets, a comedian who roasts like it's an Olympic sport, and the GOAT of stand-up who casually dismantles egos like Jenga towers. That's not a panel. That's a public execution. The clip leaked, and boom, chaos. Twitter melted down faster than Kim Kardashian's marriage, Instagram was flooded with memes uglier than Blueface's apology letters, and TikTok reenacted the humiliation with dance remixes. It wasn't just embarrassing, it was historic. This makes Tekashi's snitching look honorable. The Kardashians' drama look scripted, and reality TV look, well, less real. Charlie Kirk didn't just lose an argument, he lost the internet, and we're about to break down every savage second of it. Welcome to Scandal Spark. Let's dive in. The scandal didn't hit like a scandal. It hit like a live-streamed car crash. Shocking, hilarious, and impossible to look away from. Charlie Kirk, the self-proclaimed warrior of the culture war, strutted onto a stage thinking he was about to deliver another mic drop moment for his base. But what he didn't know was that the clip about to leak would turn him into the internet's punching bag of the week. Roasted by rappers, comedians, and meme pages with no mercy. The setup was simple, a political panel gone wrong. Cameras were rolling, the audience was restless, and Charlie decided to take his usual swing at hip-hop culture, claiming it was toxic, corrupt, and destroying America's youth. The crowd gave him polite claps, the kind of golf course applause you get when people agree with you but don't actually care. Then came the clapback. The first to react? 50 Cent. And oh, he didn't come to play. Leaning into the mic with that signature grin, he cut through Charlie's rant with one line. Bro, you talking about destroying America's youth while your hairline looks like it already gave up on life? The crowd erupted. Cameras shook. Charlie tried to smile it off, but the damage was already spreading across the internet like wildfire. Then Katt Williams jumped in. Now, if 50 Cent's roast was a jab, Katt's was a nuclear strike. He squinted at Charlie, tilted his head, and delivered a monologue so lethal it deserves a Netflix special of its own. You out here preaching morality like a substitute teacher on the last day of school. You don't care about saving kids, you care about clout. And now you up here looking like an off-brand Lego man who lost his instruction manual. The room lost it. Charlie's face, priceless. But the humiliation wasn't complete until Dave Chappelle weighed in. Cool, calm, and razor-sharp, Dave leaned back, lit that metaphorical cigarette, and said, "See, Charlie, the problem is you want to be the voice of a generation, but the generation didn't vote for you. They voted for memes. And right now, you're the meme. Silence, laughter, and then chaos." The clip leaked almost instantly. Within hours, it was on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. People who had never even heard of the panel were suddenly watching Charlie Kirk get tag-teamed by hip-hop's heavyweight troll, comedy's sharpest tongue, and stand-up's philosopher king. The reactions rolled in faster than Dirk's betrayal memes. Twitter threads exploded. One read, "Charlie Kirk versus 50, Katt, and Dave. That's not a panel, that's a death sentence." Another went viral. He thought he was in a debate, but he was actually in a roast session. And of course, the meme accounts couldn't resist. Someone photoshopped Charlie's face onto a rotisserie chicken with the caption, "Seasoned to perfection." Another had a split screen of Charlie and the "This is fine" dog sitting in flames. Even TikTok joined the pile-on. Users recreated the panel using sound bites, wigs, and Dollar Tree microphones. One clip of a guy pretending to be 50 Cent, pausing mid-roast to sip water before laughing at his own joke, racked up 2 million views overnight. Another TikTok showed a girl dressed as Chappelle calmly stirring tea as the audience laughter track played on loop. And while fans laughed, Charlie tried damage control. He posted a long-winded response on his socials, claiming he was misunderstood, that the panel was taken out of context, and that hip-hop critics like him were being silenced. But nobody cared. His statement was drowned under an avalanche of memes, reaction videos, and celebrity shade. Because here's the thing. In today's culture, once rappers and comedians unite against you, you're finished. Politicians and pundits can argue all day, but when 50 Cent, Katt Williams, and Dave Chappelle all roast you within the same news cycle, that's not just humiliation. That's cultural extinction, and that's exactly what made this scandal go nuclear. 50 Cent represented the raw street credibility. Katt Williams brought the unfiltered chaos. Dave Chappelle added the intellectual edge. Together, they didn't just clap back, they orchestrated a public execution. And Charlie Kirk was the unwilling headliner. But the humiliation wasn't confined to the panel. It spilled out into the streets, the clubs, the barber shops. DJs started dropping snake sounds and laugh tracks whenever Charlie's name was mentioned. Radio hosts turned the clip into sound bites, introducing it before playing the latest hits. Even classrooms used the roast as a meme lesson in what happens when arrogance meets comedy. And let's not forget the celebrities. 50 Cent doubled down with an Instagram post showing Charlie's face photoshopped onto a clown body. Katt Williams went viral again when he referenced the roast in one of his live shows, saying, "I made Charlie Kirk famous, but only in the way herpes is famous." Meanwhile, Chappelle, in true Chappelle fashion, stayed subtle, letting the internet crown him the quiet assassin of the night. The humiliation snowballed. Charlie didn't just lose the argument. He lost the culture war he thought he was fighting. His base tried defending him, but even they couldn't compete with the avalanche of memes. One conservative commentator tweeted, "Charlie was brave for standing up to degeneracy." The first reply? A gif of 50 Cent laughing so hard he almost fell over. Debate over. This wasn't just another bad headline for Charlie. It was a viral takedown that cemented him as a meme, and in 2025, being a meme is worse than being wrong. Because wrong fades, memes, they live forever, and this was just the beginning. The internet didn't just laugh, it howled. The clip of Charlie Kirk's humiliation spread across the web faster than a Kardashian pregnancy rumor. By the next morning, it had been viewed millions of times, dissected in reaction videos, and re-edited into memes so brutal even Tekashi6699 would have said, "Damn, chill." One edit had Kirk's face deep fried into a literal rotisserie chicken spinning under the words, "Cooked by 50, roasted by Katt, carved by Chappelle." Another layered the audio of the roast over Mortal Kombat's Finish Him soundtrack, ending with the crowd screaming, "Fatality!" It wasn't just comedy anymore. It was digital carnage. Celebrities couldn't resist piling on. Snoop Dogg reposted the clip with the caption, "He got smoked worse than my blunt." Cardi B laughed so hard in her IG story that she nearly spilled her drink, saying, "This boy really thought he was going to win an argument against legends." Even Shaquille O'Neal joined in, dropping his iconic booming laugh in a reaction video. Bruh! He got folded like laundry. But the humiliation wasn't just about the roast itself, it was about what came after. Every public appearance Charlie made turned into a fresh round of mockery. When he walked on stage at his next event, a group of college kids held up signs with snakes and microphones chanting, "Tell a joke, Charlie." He couldn't escape it. His brand had been hijacked. The memes evolved into TikTok challenges. One trend, called the Charlie Challenge, had users post their most embarrassing moment alongside the clip of 50 Cent's roast, captioning it, "At least I'm not this guy." Another trend used Katt Williams' Lego Man line, with people cosplaying as off-brand toys and mocking themselves, all while dragging Charlie as the original punchline. Podcasts, talk shows, even late-night comedy shows picked it up. Jimmy Fallon joked, "Charlie Kirk said hip-hop is destroying America." Then hip-hop destroyed Charlie Kirk. Balance restored. Trevor Noah chimed in, "Charlie Kirk got roasted so hard, we're adding him to the menu at Popeyes." But while the comedy circus kept growing, the outrage machine revved up. Because humiliation this loud doesn't just spark laughs, it sparks debates. Commentators on the left saw it as proof that Charlie's culture war rhetoric couldn't stand up to actual icons. Commentators on the right tried to defend him, framing it as liberal Hollywood ganging up on a brave conservative. But the problem? Their talking points kept getting drowned out by snake emojis and clown memes. Even political rivals jumped in. One congresswoman tweeted, "If Charlie Kirk can't survive a roast, how can he survive a debate?" Her post racked up more retweets than Kirk's entire defense thread. He was losing not just the argument, but the narrative. Meanwhile, 50 Cent was having the time of his life. He uploaded multiple follow-up posts, each more savage than the last. In one, he posted a screenshot of Charlie's face mid-roast, captioning it, "New mixtape cover, get roasted or die tryin'." Fans went wild, flooding the com member of Tryin'. And teased with flame emojis. Katt Williams, never one to waste an opportunity, turned the roast into fresh stand-up material. At his next live show, he told the audience, Charlie Kirk out here talking about saving America's youth. Sir, you couldn't save a coupon at Bed Bath & Beyond. The crowd screamed. Clips of the new joke went viral too, extending the humiliation another week. Dave Chappelle, in his usual laid-back way, didn't say much. He didn't need to. The internet had already crowned him the silent assassin of the roast. Memes portrayed him as the final boss in a video game, calmly waiting to deliver the finishing move. His one line, "You're the meme," became a catchphrase plastered on t-shirts, hoodies, and even TikTok audios. And this is where the humiliation reached another level. Charlie Kirk became a brand, but not his brand. The internet turned him into intellectual property. Merch popped up with his face next to clown noses. Etsy shops sold Charlie Kirk Roast Survivor mugs. Members launched Patreon pages funded entirely by mocking him. The scandal was no longer just a moment. It was an economy. But it wasn't just memes and merch. The humiliation began seeping into serious spaces. College students brought up the roast in debates, using it as evidence that Charlie's arguments didn't hold water. Even some of his own supporters admitted privately that the viral clip had damaged his credibility. He could still rile up his base, but to the wider culture, he was cooked. The contrast was brutal. On one hand, Kirk kept trying to push his narrative. Long speeches about morality, discipline, saving America. On the other hand, the internet only heard Katt Williams calling him an off-brand Lego man. It didn't matter what he said anymore. His identity had been reduced to the roast, and this is where it gets tragicomic. Kirk tried to clap back with humor of his own. He tweeted, "If comedy is the best they've got, I must be winning." Within minutes, someone quote tweeted, "Bro, you didn't win. You got barbecued." The reply got 10 times more likes than his original tweet. Every time he spoke, the internet doubled down. Meanwhile, public opinion kept spiraling. Young voters who had never cared about politics suddenly knew Charlie Kirk's name. Not as a thought leader, but as the guy who got humiliated by 50 Cent, Katt Williams, and Dave Chappelle. For someone who craves influence, that's the worst possible brand. The humiliation became folklore, a cautionary tale. A story told at barbershops, college dorms, comedy clubs. Remember when Charlie Kirk thought he could take on the culture and got smoked instead? It wasn't just a meme anymore. It was history. And yet, this was only the middle of the storm. Because if there's one rule about viral humiliation, it's this. It doesn't end when the laughs fade. The consequences hit even harder after the memes die down. And for Charlie Kirk, the real nightmare was just beginning. When the viral wave finally slowed down, Charlie Kirk was left standing in the rubble of his own humiliation. The laughter still echoed, but the consequences had begun to harden into something worse than trending memes. Permanent reputation damage. The first crack showed in his public appearances. Every speech, every panel, every interview carried the ghost of that roast. When Charlie walked into a university auditorium a week later, he wasn't greeted with applause. He was greeted with students chanting Katt Williams' off-brand Lego man line in unison. The footage hit TikTok and boom, another million views. His brand of seriousness had been hijacked by comedy. Even his supporters struggled to spin it. Conservative pundits tried to frame the roast as Hollywood elites bullying a truth-teller. But the problem? Nobody could take the words seriously while staring at memes of Charlie photoshopped into a rotisserie chicken. The internet doesn't debate. It ridicules, and ridicule always wins. Then came the sponsor fallout. Rumors swirled that a few conservative donors quietly pulled back after the scandal, worried their money was funding a punchline instead of a powerhouse. One leaked email allegedly said, "We can't market around humiliation." Ouch. But the most brutal consequence was cultural. Because humiliation this viral doesn't just dent your image, it redefines it. Charlie Kirk wasn't the political strategist anymore. He was the guy who got annihilated by 50 Cent, Katt Williams, and Dave Chappelle. That's the kind of branding no PR team can wash away. Meanwhile, the internet kept recycling the humiliation like it was renewable energy. Every few days, a new remix, a new meme, a new parody dropped. One TikTok stitched the original roast with a clip of Nick Cannon yelling, "You got served!" Another had the audio layered over WWE clips, with The Rock raising an eyebrow as if watching Charlie crumble. The humiliation was evergreen content. And let's not forget the celebrity callbacks. 50 Cent, never one to miss a payday, kept referencing the roast. He even teased a fake comedy special called How to Survive a Roast not starring Charlie Kirk. Katt Williams worked the Lego Man bit into multiple shows, each clip going viral like wildfire. And Dave Chappelle? He didn't need to say anything more. His calm, surgical line, "You're the meme," lived on like a cultural prophecy. But here's where it turned dark. The humiliation started eroding Charlie's authority within his own movement. Younger conservatives, who once looked to him as a fiery voice, now joked behind his back. Some even said, "We don't want the roast guy speaking at our event." That's how deep it cut. Even his base couldn't unsee the meme. And yet the irony was rich. Charlie Kirk became more famous than ever. Clips of him had never pulled these kinds of numbers. His name had never been this global, but fame without respect? That's poison. He was famous in the way Fyre Festival was famous. Infamous. Immortalized, but for the wrong reasons. And here's the tragic punchline. Humiliation doesn't fade in the internet age. It lingers. Every time Charlie tries to post a serious thought on Twitter, replies flood in with clown gifs. Every YouTube clip of his speeches has roasted chicken comments pinned to the top. Every podcast that brings him on has to address the moment. He's chained to it. Forever. The humiliation reshaped him into a cautionary tale. A reminder of what happens when arrogance meets culture. A warning for any talking head who thinks they can lecture hip-hop, comedy, or memes without getting burned. Because the roast wasn't just funny, it was justice. A culture that thrives on mockery had chosen its sacrifice, and Charlie Kirk was the offering. And that's the true aftermath. The moment outlives the man. Years from now, people won't remember the speech Charlie was giving. They won't remember his talking points, his ideology, or his arguments. They'll remember 50 Cent's grin, Katt Williams' Lego Man punchline, and Dave Chappelle calmly telling him, "You're the meme." The humiliation became folklore, passed around like a digital campfire story, retold with laughter, reshared with captions, remixed into culture. Charlie Kirk wanted to be remembered as a voice of conviction. Instead, he'll be remembered as comedy's chew toy, and maybe that's fitting. Because in the end, Charlie didn't just lose a debate. He lost the one battle you can never win, the battle against the internet's sense of humor. The roast wasn't just a moment, it was a legacy. His worst nightmare, our greatest entertainment. And there you have it, the roast heard around the world. Charlie Kirk walked into a panel thinking he'd own the room, and instead walked out as hip-hop's newest chew toy, comedy's favorite meme, and the internet's permanent punchline. 50 Cent hit him with street-certified savagery, Katt Williams dragged him like a thrift store wig, and Dave Chappelle calmly stamped him with the immortal line, "You're the meme." That's not just humiliation, that's history. But don't get it twisted. This story isn't over. Viral takedowns don't fade, they evolve. Today, it's Charlie Kirk humiliated on stage. Tomorrow, it could be a new remix, another celebrity piling on, or Charlie himself trying and failing to clap back. And when the next chapter drops, you already know where you'll hear it first. Broken down sharper, funnier, and wilder than anywhere else. Right here on Scandal Spark. So smash that like button like you're smashing the replay on 50's roast. Hit subscribe harder than Katt Williams hit Charlie's pride. And flood the comments with your theories. Who roasted him best? 50 with the hairline kill shot, Katt with the Lego Man meltdown, or Chappelle with the quiet execution? Let's settle this in the comment section, because this isn't just a channel, it's your front row ticket to the chaos factory. Every scandal, every meltdown, every viral humiliation, we turn it into the binge-worthy drama it deserves to be. This is Scandal Spark, where egos burn, memes thrive, and the drama never ever sleeps.